everything that happens after the initial sale that makes a difference. We call this the back end.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Post-Purchase Pro podcast. This is being hosted by me, Amir, and Dylan from over here at Post-Purchase Pro. And today we have a very special guest, Georgi Damyanov, who is a business development manager at Noverstock. Georgi, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful, guys. How are you doing?
It's great over here. Great over here on our side. So, Georgi, give us and the listeners a little bit of background on what it is that you guys do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on the podcast, first of all. And to give you an overview of what Noverstock does, it's a multi-channel ERP system. So what's behind those words? It's a platform that helps you manage all your sales channels. We know that most of the sellers nowadays, they are multi-channel, or after they start selling on one channel, let's say that they start on Amazon, they will soon be either other Amazon channels, or they will go to other marketplaces, build their own website, for example, as well. And with every additional sales channel, it just gets more and more difficult to run the business. So we apply automation to the whole process, and we basically free up time, and we make a lot of cost savings for our clients. So again, that's automations throughout the whole process and the integrations that they need with marketplaces, platforms, warehouses, and other partners. We do that for them as well.
Awesome. So with that said, or actually, I'll start here. Give us just like a memorable story from, the early days of working with Noverstock.
Wow, I have many stories that I can tell you from different customers, how we help them. And these will be my most memorable ones, because really, we started Noverstock because our co-founders, they have retail business, and they're selling on multiple marketplaces. So a lot of sales channels made it difficult to run the whole business, and Noverstock started as an internal tool. It was supposed to help us manage the business. But then we realized that a lot of sellers were actually having the same problems. And the more we grew the business, especially during COVID times, actually the business grew even more than what we were projecting before that. And it just became like really, really tough. And you can only hire so many people and grow the business. So you need systems in place. And software and automation is what helped us. So since then, we've had a lot of customers on board. So one of the benefits that we do for customers is we improve, for example, order processing time. And we reduce it to a few seconds. We had a customer that came in, and he was telling us that he's processing an order in 30 seconds. That's a single order. And he was very proud of that accomplishment. But we reduced it from 30 to 5 seconds per one order. Think about it when you have thousands of orders per day and how that impacts your business. Like human resource, now you can reallocate the human resource to do better things. I mean, in his case, like 2 people went on to open up another sales channel, which was eBay in his case. Nowadays, we're making partnerships with a lot of other marketplaces, such as Kaufland Marketplace, for example. And we give sellers the opportunity to grow more and more. And when you think about that example, what I like most about it is you start working with us, and with the same amount of resource, the same amount of time, the same everything, you're just doing more output. You're getting more and more profit. So essentially, your business grows without you having to change anything. It frees up the time for managers to actually be managers and not do any operational work. I mean, we have customers that are just 3 people in the company, but they're doing 15,000 orders per month. And one of those 3 people is not doing any operations. He's just growing the business. He's the manager. And and that's astonishing. That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
Work,
definitely.
working on the business instead of in the business. I've had to learn that lesson. I had to learn that lesson pretty hard. You end up, like, at least in my case, it was just, why am I doing so many different hours? And then just realizing, man, I can hire people or use software solutions or something like that to take some of these hours off me so I can actually concentrate on the new business development and things that are important so we can make more money instead of me running around, when I can build these different roles or even automate it, which is even a lot of the time a lot cheaper than hiring people to do it for you.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, to piggyback of what you just said, it's exactly that. I mean, when you think about the tasks that you can outsource to someone, or you can outsource to software, it's you just realize how much time you gain. And the most common problem that we see when we talk to online sellers is exactly that. They want to grow, they have a plan, they have a strategy, but they just don't have the time. And they always say limited resources, but it comes down to time each and every single time. So we help them with that. And when we like automation, we like the software, because all the operations are done exactly how you want them 100% of the time. Like, we eliminate the possibility of human error. And 2023, it's like it's all automated, and it's much smarter to use systems like ours, for example. And that's why we managed to grow so much in the past 3 years since Novostock has been uh, created. We have customers from 4 continents right now, like so many countries. And we believe that even in the future, we'll be able to serve even more and more customers as the integrations get more and more as well in the system.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all of that time and the growth that you guys have done just in the recent few years, I'm sure that you guys face your own sort of challenges. So, what's one of the biggest challenges that you guys actually encountered in the industry, and how did you overcome that?
Well, eh, I already told you the challenges we came into when we were talking about the selling business, so the actual retail business. Now, when creating Novostock, we actually ran into a problem that a lot of the sellers could not apprehend or understand what we were doing exactly. Like, in the beginning, they would understand the idea, but it wasn't believable, because it seems unbelievable, to the amount of savings that we make them in terms of time
A
and money.
little too good to be true.
A little too good to be true, yeah, for some
Yeah.
sellers. We even started, as any starting business would, with the warmest contacts that you can have, and test your hypothesis, test the idea, see if it's going to get accepted. And like, we needed a few rounds of talks with everyone, and them to actually try the product, click around, see what exactly they gain, and then outline the benefits and realize that we were actually helping. So once we got over that, I mean, it's time consuming for us, but it's getting easier and easier now, because first of all, the need gets stronger for such a product with the growth of all sellers worldwide. So many marketplaces are, like, even if they were considered original in the past, now they're making investments, they're going to neighboring countries, so they're growing as well. Everybody wants to access a bigger audience pool, like customer pool, so they follow. And that's what I think makes it the perfect timing for such a solution to be ready and presented to the online sellers, so it can actually help them in the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're on the topic of, some challenges or even maybe mistakes, um, from those mistakes, we always learn, right? So what's a common mistake that you see new Amazon sellers or maybe even older Amazon sellers make, and your advice to kind of avoid making those common mistakes?
Okay, so when we talk about the new Amazon sellers, I think we can talk originally. So our company is Bulgarian. We're established here in Bulgaria, in Sofia. That's where our headquarters is. So most of our customers are European. Of course, we have US, Middle East, and from other countries. But the biggest pool of customers is primarily from Europe right now. So I can speak a lot about those. So some of the common mistakes that they do is they want to grow too fast. I mean, the notion that they have is go to Amazon, start selling a particular product or a pool of products, then you establish a brand and you can branch out. You can have your own website, but you pull the customers that you have from Amazon, that traffic has to go to your website, and you establish yourself as a brand. Now you can increase the price. You can, basically develop business more and more. They hurry up too fast in order to do that. And I see this as a common problem because they kind of want to jump steps. Nowadays, there are many like examples that they see of successful companies and they want to replicate that. I think that if they go slowly but build their sales channels better, and we help them with that, we give them access to those sales channels, they will have much more success. That's truly what I believe. And maybe this could apply also to the US market. We're just starting out with a few sellers in USA, so we'll test the theory basically.
Yeah, no, it's super, super easy to get excited about something and immediately want to run before you can walk.
Oh yeah, of course. And like here in Europe, each country has their own number of marketplaces. So Amazon is present in a few countries, and then each country has regional marketplaces, and there are some like medium-sized players that are in multiple countries. They're present there. So they have a huge pool of marketplaces to choose from, and they just how do I say, they play on many different fields, see which ones will pan out to be profitable and successful. I personally believe that the strategy should be, make a plan, devise your strategy. We can even help you with that because we give you access to those additional marketplaces, but we help you establish yourself there and make a foundation, make good profits before you actually grow. And exponential growth will come. It's just not in the very beginning as they all think.
So if I were to be able to sum this up for both the sellers that are starting out and the advanced sellers, the sellers that are starting out, they want to branch out too quickly. And then one other thing I had would the sellers that are more advanced, are they wanting to more shotgun it like you were saying, and they're wanting to go to all of them instead of focusing on one channel at a time and building it out? Or like what would you say is the common thing with them? Because I've talked to a lot of sellers before that are doing some pretty big numbers, and I think one thing that I personally have seen is just not branching out. Like they're just on Amazon, they're not focusing on building any of their other channels. But of course, that's just my personal experience. I only have the people to talk to that I have as clients.
Well, we primarily talk to the ones that want to grow, or if they are in the growth stage, or they're becoming so big and developed that they need someone to, streamline the operations, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with the fast growth is actually that a lot of the times they fall into the trap of we call it honeymoon phase, because like you can be selling a lot, you're making number of sales, huge quantities, you're um, how you have stock in the warehouse, you need to restock often, etc. But you don't know if you're profitable, and you can be profitable in your mind, but then when the accounting numbers come and the financial data, it never lies, as you know. So you need to be profitable from the start, and that's why we're talking about branching out too fast. Because with a system like Noverstock, you get financial results and even accounting ones in a few seconds after each operation. So you know exactly how profitable you are. And to illustrate this with an example, so having your whole business in one place, think about it. You have all your warehouses, your shipping carriers, if you're seller fulfilled. Like if it's FBA, I can talk about it as a separate topic. But if you're seller fulfilled, you have your shipping carriers. Then you might be using fulfillment warehouses, so that's additional charges. Still, depending on you know where the end customer is, you run into VAT charges for the different countries. You have exchange rates. You have, not to mention the Amazon fees, the selling fees, like all those all those related charges. Like at the end of the day, you don't know exactly if you're profitable. So when you have a system like Noverstock, you know all your expenses, and that's why we have a built-in calculator to tell you what should be your final selling price. And whenever you have your final selling price, it's all the expenses plus the desired profit margin that you want. So think about this. Each and every order, even if you have a small profit margin, there's nothing that can eat it away. So you still receive it. And you know exactly how profitable you are after every sale. You don't need to wait for accounting to tell you, oh, you're actually in the red zone. And that's why I'm saying that people want to branch out too quickly before they have a really, really strong foundation and their business is actually profitable. And that's a huge, huge problem.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Just starting with, okay, what's our actual costs, and then let's add in our margin before we even start thinking about the sale price, and let's go a little over that just to make sure that no matter what, at the end of the day, we're still hitting our numbers. That's similar to something that we've taught in the past, actually. So what we always aim for is to have like a 20% COGS. So let's say you're getting 5x on the product cost. That way there's never like a lot of cash flow restrictions. We're able to multiply the money inside of the business instead of running into, let's say you have like, I've talked to people that have sub 10% profit margins. That can grow into a really big problem, especially if, let's say, your ads go out of whack somewhere or costs rise. Like that can be eroded really quickly. Whereas if you focus on profit first, then you're able to grow, not only grow faster, but I would say grow safer too. And I think
Yeah.
Noverstock is really helpful for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the key word is, as you said, grow safe. The stability is what you're looking for, because you cannot grow a business just on wishing that you're going to be selling and whatnot. You need to be profitable, and all businesses, they need to be making profit. So I started talking about our calculator, and I will say something else. So whenever someone wants to open up a new, let's say that they're selling in Amazon Germany, they want to open up Amazon Spain, for example, as their next sales channel. Like, even though Germany and Spain use the euro as a currency in both countries, you have different selling prices in those countries because you have different costs. So you need to calculate your price. It has to be adequate for the market and for the current local situation. So this is what we help with when you're trying to open up a new sales channel. Like, price, extremely, extremely important, first of all. Then your partners, who are you going to work with? Like, we have a network of partners in the countries where we operate, and we can advise, we can recommend someone. You could probably even get a discount because we recommended working with that partner for whatever it might be. Then you need, like, obviously, good operations. Like, I would say, to be devoted. That's what I'm trying to say. To be devoted into the process, and it'll happen. Profitability will happen if you are working with good partners. You have a good profit margin, and you can see that with us in just really a few clicks. All the data, all the financial dashboards, it's available. Especially like business owners, what they like about us is that all statistics, they don't need to wait for the end of the month so accounting can collect the numbers and then do the calculation and tell them if they're profitable or not. They can see it at the end of each day. Like they can even see it once they receive an order. Like an order comes in, before they process it, they know exactly how much they will win from that profit, from that order. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I understood either way. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's really powerful. I can say from my personal experience, I've done a lot of the end of the month accounting to figure out like, hey, I spent this much, I made this much, did I make money this month? It's kind of scary sometimes. Of course, I've learned over time, especially as they've built out more softwares like your specific software, and it's grown to be a really big help in just making sure that we optimize for the things that are important, with profit being first.
Yeah.
Got to start with that. So where do you see Noverstock going in the future? Like if you had like a 5-10 year vision. I know you guys are in Europe right now. Do you see yourselves really expanding into the Americas, or?
Yes, we're already talking. As I said, we have a few customers from America, from US.
Mhm.
We're talking to a lot more customers from the region, and we see ourselves like being able to serve all the regions. You need to have strong partnerships. You need to have integrations with all the um, marketplaces and platforms that are popular in that region. So, for example, for the US, like except for Amazon, for example, let's say Walmart is
Mhm.
important as an integration. Just as an example, there are many, many, but Walmart's more is very popular. So, like we have a roadmap for the next 24 months. We will get the integrations to many hundreds of integrations. We'll be able to serve all the territories that have like the most sellers and the sellers that want to grow, and we'll give them the like each seller that's already with us. As we expand, they get the opportunity to expand even more because they have a bigger selection of marketplaces that we can help them expand into. And because of the automations that we provide inside the system, they don't need to hire as much staff as they would normally need to. So growth is facilitated even more. It's even easier to do it with us. So to answer your question, like we would be looking at a 5 year window right now, but growth for us and for our clients, existing and the ones that are coming in the next few months, is looking pretty positive. Just
Mhm.
because as we open up new territories, everyone from our customers, they benefit from that.
Gives them more markets to sell in. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, exactly. And yeah, I can tell you, for example, like some of the automations that we do, and you will paint a really good picture for what I'm talking about. So
Mhm.
let's say that there's a European seller, they're selling on Amazon Germany, for example. They want to go to Amazon US, and if we already have partners in US, so let's say fulfillment centers, shipping carriers, we have Walmart and all the other marketplaces. Like they just come, we plug in their stores or their sales channels. We connect them to all the partners or stakeholders that they work with in that particular region, and an order comes in, and the automation, what it's done is like before you even do anything, the automation finds the warehouse, selects the product, reserves that product, finds you a shipping carrier, shipping service, tells you what the profit is, like, and it's really, really exact about the profit. And the only thing you need to do is just to confirm the order. Like, you really have nothing else to, everything is done for you. I know that some people will probably ask, in the case of FBA, we have visibility about where the stock is, because Amazon can, depending on which Amazon program you are, obviously, the stock can be scattered into different warehouses. So we help with visibility, you know what's where, and also with returns. In some verticals, that's a huge, huge problem, because you never know, first of all, where the product is, how much money you lost. And there can be different scenarios. You can lose money, you can do a refund, and you can lose the product because it's not resellable. Let's say it comes back broken. There are so many scenarios, and we cover them all. We tell you exactly how much you lost. And in some cases, you might be able to follow and see if there's some remedy that you can do for that part of the business, at least, lower those costs.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if anybody in the audience really wanted to reach out to you at Noverstock or reach out to the company in general, how could they get in contact? And was there anything that you had today to share with them if they wanted to sign up?
Absolutely. So the easiest way to contact us, so you can use the email sales@noverstock.com, or you can just go to noverstock.com. There is a book a demo button in the upper right hand corner, and then that request will come to us. We'll get back to you. But sales@noverstock.com is the easiest way to contact us. So if anybody is listening and you view that podcast, when you contact us, tell us that you saw myself and Noverstock on this podcast, and we'll give you, so first month will be free. It's a trial month where you can just test our services. It coincides with our onboarding. So you will have a free customer success manager during that period who's going to help you get familiar with the system. They will set up your account. They will give you tips and tricks. They will really, really help you get to know the system and tell you how to use it. And then the first 3 months of your actual paying contract, they will be at 50% off. And from then on, we'll give you 10% lifetime discount. So until you're a customer of ours, you have a lifetime discount of 10% with us.
No, that's an offer you can't refuse. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully a lot of people, like, even in the first month, they will find value, and that's what usually happens. I mean, I can tell you a story. Even we've had people that, they came to us, and one of the common problems that they had was they were losing money in inventory costs, for example, because they have 5 warehouses around the world, and they really don't know how to optimize. So there's something called product life cycle. Like, a particular product sells well in a particular sales channel, and you may be able to optimize your sales channels and lower your costs just by transferring products from one warehouse to the other. Once you make those changes, like, business starts running smoothly, and we can show you exactly with data where the problem is, how to remedy it.
I see that we got a question here in the chat. I see a question from John, and it says, does Noverstock help mainly with FBM, or do you do FBA as well? I think we covered that a little bit earlier, but let's just recap it just to make sure right at the end of this that everybody knows.
Yes, absolutely. So FBM and FBA, like, both. So you can have 10 Amazon accounts. Some of them can be FBA, some of them can be FBM. It's still something that we can help with. You can have as many Amazon accounts, eBay, Kaufland. You can have your own websites. Like, our biggest customer has 20 sales channels. 20. It's
It's a lot.
it's one of the biggest companies. And the thing is, like, all those sales channels, they can be optimized in such a way that the 21st channel, trust me, it's no big deal for you to open. You have the time and you have the resources, and it's just begging to be open and make your business even bigger and more profitable. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like we have customers, like, obviously, like any business, we started off with beta customers. Every single business does that. So we're 3 years old, and we've had customers that have been with us like for about 2 years, as beta customers. We have 2 of those customers. They grew 3x, just for 2 years of being with us. These are European companies, but still, they grew 3 times. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, Amir, did you have anything to add?
No, that pretty much finishes up all my line of questioning as well. Just to recap on that offer. So if you go over to noverstock.com and click the book a demo in the top right corner, that offer was the first month completely free. You get your own point of contact at Noverstock that will help walk you through all of their systems. That's also then followed by a 50% discount for the next 3 months, or 2 months, was it? The first 3 months are 50% discount. Yeah. 50% discount on the first 3 months, and then a 10% discount on lifetime. All you got to do is just let them know that you came from the PPP podcast, and they should get you squared away over there.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Well, we can sign it off here. Thank you, Georgi, for coming on, and I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, representing Noverstock, and really taking the time to talk to us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Dylan, Amir, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. We should do this again soon when we have new accomplishments that we've done with the company. Kind of like check in.
A follow-up. Yeah, we can do a follow-up podcast.
Multi-channel is the future. It's what we're living in right now, and multi-channel. Most of the sellers will be multi-channel in a few months. Like, the time to act is now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it helps a lot with diversification. That I see it as a really important piece.
No question about that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well,
all right. Thank you again, Georgi. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We will see you on the next one.